Senate Republicans say they're ready to change the rules to approve more of President Trump's nominees. Now, this move comes after Democrats blocked almost all of Trump's nominations. Scripps News congressional correspondent Nathaniel Reed live in Washington with details. And Nate, talk a little bit, if you would, about this big rules change. I mean, what does this functionally mean for the Senate? What exactly is going to change?
Yeah, so Holly, we've heard President Trump, vent frustration about this for the past several months. The problem for him is his nominees, everything from ambassadors to U.S. attorneys, basically the positions that you typically confirm early in the start of your presidential administration, are taking forever to confirm. He's upset by the pace by which the Senate is considering some of these nominees. And the goal here from Senate Republicans to kind of heat off some of that pressure from President Trump, but also make a key rules change that'll basically make it faster to get some of these nominees confirmed to those positions. And what they would do is confirm multiple nominees to positions all at the same time. So think of confirming, instead of a single vote to confirm, let's say, the U.S. ambassador to Italy or the U.S. ambassador to Greece, think of those two votes happening all at the same time. So basically confirming multiple people to multiple positions all at once. Now, that's something that the Senate has not done up to this point, but it's something that Senate Republicans say will help ease the pain of what Senate Democrats have been doing, which is holding up some of these nominees, something they're able to do under the Senate rules, but something that is really bothering Republicans to the point that they're taking this novel change, going nuclear, if you will, and changing some of the Senate's rules to speed up some of these confirmations of Trump's appointees. Remember, some of these people, donors, some of his political allies, many of them probably have his ear and want to be confirmed to their positions as ambassadors or wherever else across the country. A lot of questions about how this change could impact down the line. Here's Senator Rand Paul, the Republican from Kentucky, last night.
The reason I'm going to support it is that presidents do have a right to get an administration, to get people that work with them so they can implement that policy. It also distracts us. We are spending so much time on the nominations that we have, we're not even going to get the appropriations processed. And that's not a valid excuse, but at least one of the excuses for why we're not paying more attention to spending.
And remember, there's two sides to every coin. This rules change could also potentially help Democrats down the line. The next Democratic president could find it easier to confirm some of their nominees to top positions. Again, we're waiting to hear what Senate Democrats have to say about this, whether there is going to be kind of blanket opposition from them. There's a lot of questions about how things move forward from here and whether this could really change the way that the Senate functions, making it more, the concern up here, making it more of a rubber stamp for the executive branch than it currently is.
Interesting.
Holly?
Okay. And as Senator Rand Paul said there, talking about not getting other work done, on the perennial issue of government funding, where do things stand with that? Because we're 3 weeks away today from a possible shutdown. Any progress being made on that front?
Yeah, to the day, and furthermore, one of those 3 weeks is vacation. Congress is not expected to be in for one of the weeks of September, meaning that this is just a really condensed period of time that lawmakers have to get the ball rolling on the question of government funding. And look, it will expire. There will be a government shutdown 3 weeks from today if no action is taken. But remember, with government funding, even though Republicans have a majority in the House of Representatives and the Senate, they likely will need some Democratic support to get this thing across the finish line. The Senate's rules require that some Democrats step up and vote for a government funding bill if it is to pass. In the House of Representatives, they will likely need some Democratic support as well, as there are Republicans who year after year vote against government funding bills. They say they don't like the level of spending in Washington, and no amount of coercion from their party can make them a vote in favor of it. So House Speaker Mike Johnson acknowledging that earlier today in his weekly press conference, but also saying it's up to Democrats to prevent a government shutdown and trying to pin this on the party that's out of power here in Washington if the government does shut down. Take a listen.
The Democrats are willing to work with us. We have our sleeves rolled up, and we want to do this in good faith. We just have to think responsibly how to spend less money than we did last year. And if they're willing to do that, and it's incumbent upon all of us to do it with the high national debt, we're open to that. But the ultimate question of whether there's going to be a government shutdown at the end of the month is going to be up to congressional Democrats, and that's just the way it is. So.
Again, a lot of questions about whether Democrats are willing to sign on to any sort of Republican-centered government funding bill. They're really upset about some of the cuts that have been made to public health care programs, to Medicaid, to other social services programs. It's hard to see how Democrats are willing to sign on, especially given all of the steps the Trump administration and congressional Republicans have taken to try and trim funding from everything from USAID, the Corporation for Public Broadcasting. At this point, safe to say Democrats and Republicans not seeing eye to eye. And previously, we've heard from Democrats saying that Republicans are just not willing to come to the table and come up with some sort of bipartisan solution. So a lot of questions about how something gets ironed out that Democrats are willing to vote for if Republicans still refuse to meet with Democrats and are still looking at going at this alone. Speaker Johnson acknowledging kind of the inevitable today that they will need some Democrat support to get this thing to President Trump's desk, prevent the government from shutting down just 3 weeks from today, Holly. TikTok.
I was about to say, Nate, you're going to be very busy this month, so no vacation time for you, I guess. Congressional correspondent Nathaniel Reed in Washington, thanks so much.